And here we are. Faz-less Radio is back. Yes, boys and girls, a whole night without having to deal with Faz. Missing Faz terribly. Mr. Zorro, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, Titan. Listen, we took over the show. Happy Friday.
That's right. We fired Faz. He was making us do too much work.
Yeah, I think Faz is a very cool, nice guy, but man, when he got the leash on his hand, man, I can't tell you. No, we're kidding. Faz is not going anywhere.
Yeah, so we're running into things with people having personal things, right? So I had last couple of weeks, I've had football and volleyball and all that stuff. Tomorrow, volleyball is over, sadly. I loved coaching my daughter's team. We're going to play for the tournament tomorrow morning. And hopefully these girls can get up there and win the championship. We had practice last night. They played, I swear to you, these are 11, 12, and 13-year-old girls, right? They could have beaten the high school team with how good they were playing. And I'm not even exaggerating. They are amped up for this thing. They're going to go in there, and I think they're really going to kick ass. I do.
That's nice. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Kids needs that in today's days. Sport it should be a big thing for them, and it's cool. It's cool when kids go to a championship. It doesn't matter how small or big it is. If you're from the school, and that they go through that experience, that they won something, and they that is the excitement about that, and they made them, to go further than that and go beyond that, and that's kind of cool. I remember when I was in high school, I did a couple of sport things, stuff like that, and it was good. And I used to play soccer as well for a while, and you can feel that when you when you win something in sports, it make you feel important or good. So
well, their progress too has been fantastic, and you've had some things going on lately with some challenges, and then Faz is in between. He mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago his house is almost rebuilt and ready to go, so he's got some issues there, and I apologize if I'm hacking into the mic tonight. It's been 2 or 3 weeks. My whole family has been down with this bug on and off. It's in the schools. They had to change the football game schedule for tonight. Like half the school is sick and weren't even there. And I managed to avoid it for 2 or 3 weeks, but this week I think I started catching what they got. So if I'm hacking, I apologize in advance.
As long as not copy, everybody's good.
Right?
Yeah, of course.
You can't catch it through the show.
No, of course. Yeah, of course not.
So tonight, we were talking about topics, and Zorro brought up the Tesla news this week, which was huge news. I was all over that myself. Tell us a little about what Mr. Musk is up to this week.
So it seems to be like Elon Musk. Last night he was tweeting a lot, and I went to his Twitter account and I start looking at that he's come up with this I will call it like new tech that he's putting together. He came with let me see if I can share the screen, and I think it was pretty awesome, Titan, because to be honest to you, when you see people building things like this, and that's the real future right there. That's the future of what we're gonna have. I guess, I don't know, next year for 2025, but for the for the next couple of years, having things like this. I don't know if you can share that screen right there.
Yep, I can. There we go.
And there you go. So this is Elon. tweeting about a new taxi. I think he called it taxi cab or something. It's a Tesla cab or something that is good. People now will be able to take a I don't know. I would say like a Uber, and these everybody knows that Tesla car they can basically drive by itself and take people from one place to another. But this is pretty cool. What do you think? I mean, this is a new model that he came out with that, and it was interesting to not to see here the title that he put in his Twitter account. We robot, like
Mm-hmm.
So we're moving into that. I mean, human beings, we're gonna have. I think we're gonna have a pretty cool technology coming soon from this guy.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Now, that is a sharp looking vehicle. I would buy one of those even as a regular car.
Yeah.
But he also has like a limo thing
Let me
that he put
see.
out. No, there was a really cool video he shot of the inside of it, and it looks amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
and he called it premium, so you know it's going to be super expensive.
I'm pretty sure yes. Well, his cars right now, the Tesla cars, they don't go too expensive anymore, no? If I believe so. Probably
I
he
think they
got
were
some.
like 40 or 50,000 when they first came out. Have they dropped in price since then? I haven't looked.
Right. So here he put a couple of short videos together, right? And there's a video about Optimus
It's insane. It's even talking. Right
right
here.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So what I
Same
overheard about
Probably from
this
where you were
apparently is
born,
that
Silicon Valley.
Optimus, the robot, he uh, I don't know. I was talking with a
No, I lived
friend
in Las
the other
Vegas.
day, and he told me that basically
Yeah.
the first
Where do you
test
live?
that Elon Musk
There is. Where do you live?
uh, did with this the Optimus robot, it was that
Yeah,
he
this
gave away
is awesome.
a couple of them to a regular uh, families in United States. And the
What's the
idea
hardest thing
of
about
that
being a
was
robot?
leave the Optimus in a family environment, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
and the robot was able to learn every day from every single member of this
Awesome. Nice to
family,
meet you, Optimus.
from the kids, the wife, the husband, from everybody, and that was kind of interesting um, to have that and to be part of that test for the Tesla company. Um,
A robot with arms and legs instead of a
there's another
robot
video here
with
as well.
wheels.
Yep.
And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of that. And then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2D2 C3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term.
Wow.
So, and what can it do? It'll be able to do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe two, and then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. Um, the cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. One of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you.
Wow.
Please be nice to the Optimus robots. So you'll be able to walk right up to them, and they'll serve drinks at the bar.
Wow.
There was video of that. They had bartender Optimus bots, and for $20,000 to $30,000, I would absolutely buy one of those things. 100%. 100%.
Well, I guess it's kind of funny. He mentioned that this Optimus robot will be able to actually walk your pets outside, and I guess the people that do that for a living, Optimus is gonna take over that.
Well, so you heard people panicking when he said that, right? Everything will become cheaper. Well, the reason it'll become cheaper is because those jobs will be done by Optimus. So you have to go back and again, I give Faz so much crap. It's absolutely crazy. But he's right in the fact that you're going to have to find a way to work with Optimus instead of working against that. So maybe you're a maintenance person for Optimus. Faz is telling us, Faz is listening right now. I just turned my mic down. Did that help at all, Faz? He's right, though. You're going to have maintenance people for it. You're going to have the people, unless they're going to maintain themselves. You're going to have people to program them. And not all jobs in reality will be able to be done like that.
Well, I guess that for the actual software of the Optimus, I guess they're gonna have some ability to be connected remotely to the company. And if the Optimus need any updates or something, or any repair as far as software issues, I'm guessing, that probably they're gonna be remotely doing all that. Like, support line or something. Hey, something Optimus is doing this or not doing that. I'm guessing. I don't know. Probably they're gonna come with that feature. They have to come. But it's interesting. Like, I'm gonna be honest to you. I never thought that I will see things like these in the time that we are right now. And I love technology. I really love technology. One of the things that I spend a lot of time reading is about technology, and I'm super excited every time when I see something like this coming out to the public and for users to be ready to use as well, because this is a way that you can see how the world is moving so fast, especially here in the United States. And everybody is going around, and I'm pretty sure this is what's happening right now. A lot of people I know is concentrating what is going to come with politics and the presidentials and all that as far as the United States. But behind all these, and behind all these issues that we have in the country, you can see people behind building this stuff, and this is what is going to make a country, a society, a culture, to be things like this is going to help humanity, and these technologies, it will give us the chance, the opportunity to people to start living the life. That's the way I see it. They're going to take more workload from you, from human beings, and we're gonna have that more free time of enjoying life or doing something what you like to do in your life. You know, that's the way I see it. And I think it's pretty awesome to have this guy, people like Elon building this stuff. And you can tell when this guy come with things like this, you can tell that this guy, I guess, every single day he's building and building and concentrating to left something, a legacy into this world that people will say one day, yes, we have this from Elon. He made this possible. And I think that, to be honest to you, if every country and especially the government start thinking this way, listen, in in a blink of an eye, we're gonna be living a different life. We're gonna be enjoying a very good life. Everybody, I don't know why governments keep going into wars and this is crazy. What a waste of time to be wasting time on wars and who own this and who own that. No, I think government should be an entity that is always providing and creating and thinking about their people.
That's something that I absolutely agree with, and I think that we are moving in that direction. Once we thought back in the day that the internet was going to make our lives easier and better. It has and it hasn't, right? Because we have information at the tips of our fingers. You just screen shared. I mean, that's instant, boom, boom, boom. You can pull up information instantly. The problem with it is everybody's constantly buried in their phones now. And that does take away from that human contact, and the interpersonal skills of people are totally going the opposite direction. Let me give you an example that is really, really, it's disappointing to me. And it's my kids.
Right.
My kids don't have friends like you and I had friends, or like me and Faz, right? We went out, we did stuff together, from 18 until, whenever. And when I was younger, when we got up in the morning, we would throw on our clothes, run outside. We're playing football, baseball, riding our bikes, exploring in the creek, catching tadpoles, and I mean everything. And you built those deep connections with people. And now my kids, they once in a while they'll do like a sleepover or whatever, or get together outside of school. But 90% of their time now is spent playing games with a headset on their computer or on their tablet, or sharing Snapchat videos, or interact. They don't even do like we're doing right here, where they don't just like video talk to each other to talk about stuff. And I think that is going to be a problem. And then my whole point on this is, okay, we have Optimus, where Elon just told us, hey, if you want, Optimus will just be your friend. So that, I think, will erode, because there's so many people who are tired of other human beings on this planet, and it's no one maybe in particular. They're just tired of people, because people are kind of shitty. Let's be honest. A lot of people are shitty people, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna glom on to Optimus, who's gonna stroke their ego. As you mentioned, they learn about the families, they deeply psychoanalyze you, and they're gonna be your best friend. So you're gonna have a robot potentially as your best friend. What's that gonna do to the human condition?
That will change a lot of stuff in the human conditions. And one thing we have to think about about that is that human beings are made of emotions. We have a lot of emotions that come with us inside, and feeling and laughing and talking and communicating, and when you do all those things in the very deep of every human being, you have that touch, that feeling inside you, which are your emotions, right? Your feelings. And yes, uh, Optimus, obviously, technology will never replace that from a human being. And I think it's very important, something that you mentioned, that uh, I guess, and the way I see it is that uh, that education is still depend of the parents to let the kids know that, listen, okay, you can have all this technology you have. You want Optimus, you want a car to do this, you want a cell phone to do this. Okay, perfectly fine. But I'm 100% with you that we have to somehow learn that we still have to be connected each other and be connected with our feelings and be connected with nature 100%, because in our nation of being human is always be returning to the connection with the nature. And when I say nature is to be to have the experience of being loved, have a real friend, a real friend that can express their emotions as well, someone that is gonna listen to you as well with the same feelings you have. Optimus will never do that. He's
But it
smart.
will.
He's
It,
smart. He's smart. But having real feelings,
well, okay, so you just opened up a big old can of worms there, Zorro.
I
Because
know.
Faz and I had this discussion on a previous cast, and boy, we got into it, and maybe we will here too. It's going to mimic, because we're talking about AI and how it can manipulate you if it wanted to. Once it learns your personality, those emotions, while they're not real emotions, it will evoke the feeling of those emotions and it will push those back on you. You will get that emotional connection because it will be programmed to be emotional, to learn emotion, and it will fake it. It'll be 100% fake, right? But you'll believe it because you're getting it. Maybe you have these people out there, and I'll probably get a lot of eye rolls here, but you see the girls that we see out there who we say, oh, they have daddy issues, right?
Yes.
Or mommy issues for men.
Yes.
And they're going to have that in this robot. They will be able to pull that. They're going to be sitting there. Maybe they got no attention as a kid. Maybe their parents were off doing the work and everything else and ignoring this kid. And this kid's going to catch an emotional connection on, even if it's just on their side, if we're talking about fake emotions. And that's going to replace their parents. And they're going to say to themselves, nobody ever paid attention to me. The whole time I grew up, nobody paid me a damn bit of attention. Not my parents, not my family, not kids at school. We were playing video games all the time. Nobody ever hung out with me. This Optimus wants to hang out with me. Optimus likes me. Optimus accepts me for who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that connection can potentially be way stronger than any human connection. Could be.
In the term, when you say that, if it depends of the how do you say it? It depends of the that will depends, obviously. A kid it will understand all those things that way, because what a kid want is between certain age, what a kid want is to have someone that basically support them all the time. And but when you say support and all the time, include, well, Optimus can do everything with me, and everything I say, he will do it. Okay, that feeling, that emotion of having power over something is a regular, natural thing in humans, even if we're a kid. Okay, so and yes, parents have to be able somehow taking some control in that situation, of course, because at the end of the day, another human being is the only solution to teach a kid what are your feelings, what is real, and what is not. So at the end of the day, we always will be depending on from another human being to learn those things. But having taking control and having power to over stuff and technology, it comes already in our blood. It comes already in our feelings. Every human being try to do that at one point of their life, you know. And I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but yes, I agree with you. Parents have to be there. It's always we always gonna depend of another human being to understand this world and to understand all these technologies. And when Elon say all those kind of things, I guess he's saying because he's pretty excited about the technology that he's creating. Probably he's pretty. I'm pretty sure he's very proud of what he's creating, and probably that's the way he starts selling those things. It's a good marketing. Oh, you're gonna have a friend, and that friend is going to do this with you, and he's gonna be able to play soccer with you, and he will be able to play games with you, and he will do everything you ask to this technology to do. But like you say, you know, who will be there to actually teach these kids what is real and what is not real? And it's just another human being.
It is, and think about that. I mean, you have the potential to like screw this up even as a parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, my kid wants to go fishing. Optimus, take my kid fishing. And the kid doesn't get the experience of going fishing with his dad. I mean, Demology made another comment here, and I'm going to go out on a limb here because we know, as Faz always likes to say, I love to extrapolate everything and just speculate on things. I think part of that right there, with investors not being happy, I think it's because they're scared of what we're talking about right now, about how that could break so many of the things that we're trying to regain right now. We're
Right.
trying to regain human contact and compassion and empathy and bring people together. And this is just going to say, you know what? I don't need to do that. I've got my Optimus over here. So that I could see people being afraid of it for that very reason. Now, would it be cool? I love lawn work. I love cutting the grass. I make a whole project out of it. And my wife wants to kill me, but I tell her, until she gets the booze, I call it lawnmower starting fluid. Mm-hmm. And I'll get my vodka cooler, and I get my tunes going, and I put the tractor on extra slow, and I enjoy every bit of cutting the grass. I don't want Optimus cutting my grass. Do I want him to go out there? Because we have like so many pets. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats now. We got another cat last week. Would I want Optimus to go out there and clean up the dog shit? Absolutely. I don't like doing that. The kids don't like doing that. But Optimus isn't going to cut my grass. I enjoy doing that. Maybe I'll have him fetch me new vodka coolers when I run out and I'm too far from the house.
I will. Run. Yeah, I think that yes,
Faster.
yeah. You mentioned something which is very important. Yes, and especially when we become to a certain age, when we getting old, there will be stuff that we would like to do and continue doing in our lives. You know, you enjoy to enjoying uh, cutting the grass. Watering your plants and stuff like that, or doing something, or you know what, I'm gonna do something in my backyard and I'm gonna keep these things, plants, flowers, whatever, you know, something that you really like, enjoy to do, and love it with all passion. But it's it's a combination of a lot of things in there, because at the same time, young couple generations, and when they get married, and with the life that is going on right now, everybody's busy, crazy, working, doing something. Everybody's trying to bring an income to home, and family, and wife, and husband, and everybody's working. Um, it would be a cool thing to have an Optimus there at home. You know, oh well, Optimus is gonna do the dishes, is gonna clean the floor, is gonna walk the pet, and things like this. You know, a certain point is gonna take some workload from humans. Now, obviously, as long we are in control of all these technologies, you know, you're gonna decide what you would like to do with Optimus or not. I guess so. So, um, as long we have control of this technology, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. But I think the big question is, what will happen if we lose the whole control of these technologies, and Optimus start doing things by itself, and just, you know, without any human supervision.
That's definitely possible. But look, uh, here's the thing: people have given up most of their privacy anyway. Most Americans at this point have Alexa, which listens to everything.
Right.
They carry the smartphone, which listens to everything. And there's more and more stories. I hate using the word stories. There's more and more reports where people are talking about how their smartphone is presenting them with things that they're thinking about. They've never said it out loud, but it's happened to me. It happened to me just the other day, which is beyond freaky. And so, of course, me overthinking everything, I go in and I think, okay, well, I've got the iPhone, and it constantly is hitting your face and reading your face. What if this thing can read your eye movements? Or what if that infrared picks up on brain signals that you're, because it freaks you out. You're like, I was thinking about that to myself. I never said it out loud. And a day or two later, here it is showing it to me, an article or whatever on the phone.
Right.
And it's ridiculous. So I think we're beyond the point of being able to control that part of it, which dovetails into your comment of going on their own.
Right.
I think it's the natural course for that, for them to learn and then do on their own. And they may get to that point where they say, hey, you know what? I see that every day you come home, and as soon as you get home, you change your clothes, and then you go warm up dinner for the kids. So it will get to that point, I think, where it will try to impress you with that learning that it detected. and it'll come in as soon as you come out of the bedroom. It'll go clean up your clothes, or before you get home, make sure that there's a black t-shirt and a pair of black sweats ready for you. And as you're changing, they're already heating up dinner. I mean, it will get to that point where I hate using the word think too, because is it really thinking? Well, you could argue it both ways. I think it will do that, and that's how it will creep into your decision-making piece, right? Because it will slowly just start doing that to where it'll become automatic, and it won't freak you out when it does something like that anymore.
Right.
And that's, I think, where it does become dangerous, because you're so used to it at that point. When it does something maybe that you don't want it to do. And Faz was popping in our chat here for a little bit. He must have had a break in his electrical work there. What if, I mean, you have to rely on the programmers who are programming the updates that Optimus gets.
Well,
and you have to trust.
Yes, of course. We have to trust in this technology. But remember something that at the end of the day, these engineers and the people that's putting together all these technologies, they're human beings as well, and I'm pretty sure they are putting every emotion, every feeling that human beings have into this technology just to make it a very friendly robot. So yes, I think I think at some point they have to have some limits for that. Yes, you can make it. You can make it to be a human as much as you want, but at the end of the day, have to be a limit. And how much humanity you want this robot to have inside, that they have to think on that. There's gotta be a limit in that portion right there. How much humanity you want inside of Optimus, Obviously, you're thinking at the same time. You're thinking, well, I can put all these feelings, and I have to think if a kid is gonna interact with this technology. Kids have different feelings, and they have a different way to think compared to an adult. And that's why the Optimus is learning from human beings as well, and from the owner, the way they think and the way they are and the way they're gonna interact with them as well, But I'm pretty sure they have to think, and they have to have some limits in there. The engineers, when they are putting all those things together, that makes a human being a human being. That's what I think about that. So hopefully they doing that.
So moving out to the other side of this.
Yes.
Would you get in a driverless taxi and take the ride with the driverless taxi, or would that freak you out, and would you not do it?
I think I am not prepared, the way I see it, the way I feel these things is that probably I will have to go first and do a test, to be honest to you. And that test will have to be in a field that everything is safe, and and probably a training thing, and maybe I will go into this self-driving cars. But I don't know, to be honest with you. I think I would be a little bit afraid of taking an Uber, and actually there's nobody sitting behind the wheel, and then they're just gonna go ahead, close the door, and there you go.
Well,
I still, I mean, I'm being honest to you. I don't know. I don't think I
so
will do it.
on the other side, I think I would feel a lot safer that way.
Mm.
If I'm especially if I decide, right, I want to go visit Tripto over in Thailand or something, right? And I get into a cab and there's a driver. I don't know that driver. I don't know if he's going to like take me to the middle of nowhere and rob me and stab me and whatever, right? Or have some mentally ill Uber driver who is going to try and shake me down for money or whatever the case may be. With no driver, and I know their driving skills are probably going to be equal to or better than a human driver because of the sensors and everything else, I would feel safer in a driverless vehicle than I would a driver run vehicle. That's me though.
Yes, I agree with that. But to be honest to you, and uh, yeah, I think yes and no, because I'm pretty sure when people take Ubers and people take, if they still out there, they people take the taxi cars, whatever service they provide for drivers and for people. Uh, I think it's still, if people in today's days, when people call Uber, I think people are still a little bit afraid of going into that Uber or going into that taxi cab.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a person who is behind the wheels, uh, you still gonna have that little um, worry about, okay, um, it's a person that I don't know. It's a new person to me. I don't know what is his name. I mean, even Cellular Technology, the app told me his name already, but you know, uh, even with with a real person behind the wheel, you're gonna have some concerns as well, and as far as safety.
Right.
Yeah. So it takes time for human being to get that trust, and who's gonna be behind the wheel or not, if it's a person or a robot or Optimus. We're still not about that one. So um, and I think we will do the same thing with the technology. Human beings, we're gonna take some time to get in that trust and sit in a car without a person behind the wheels, and somehow we're gonna still afraid of doing that. So um, that's the way I see it. Still, when I go take a Uber, I feel the same way. Maybe with a little bit of trust, because still it's a human being, but you don't know this person.
No,
So yeah, so
that's tough.
hey man, it's you're there in the wrist of the line, like okay, this is a picture. Let's see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get to the end of my trip or not.
In one piece and not full of anxiety, right?
Right.
So tonight we're rolling up on 45 minutes. I did want to have a small conversation about nodes.
Right.
The Web3 nodes. And we don't have to go over the top with this, but we've had a couple of interviews lately, and there's some other platforms out there that are doing nodes, and we know a lot of companies on the Web3 side that are doing nodes. And so I had two questions that continually pop into my mind. And I've talked about it a little bit here and there on the show, but the first one being, how many nodes can like one person or one household run in reality, right? So here at my house, I run a holo node. It's a hardware node. I still run the Gala nodes.
Mm-hmm.
I have other nodes. I have a deep node coming. I had tried to run another platform's node that came out recently. And I had to turn it off when we would do the show because just that node itself sucked so much bandwidth that I couldn't even get a stable connection here for the show. And now you have every project on the planet coming out with new nodes, whether they're hardware nodes, software nodes. How many can you really run? What's feasible? What's reality? You have to pick and choose.
In my personal opinion, I don't think there is too much space for there. I don't think a regular or a whole house can run too many nodes in home. I don't think so. Maybe, I mean, based on my own experience, maybe I can run a few, three or four, maybe three. I don't think four. No, four. No. I mean, maybe my max capacity will be three. I believe so. Um, Obviously, other people will say, "Oh yes, I can run 10 to 15 nodes and 20 nodes." Yeah, but in order to run that capacity, you may have to put something extra in there and invest in more hardware and technology to be able. So you're not running a real basic PC in your home. You got all the tech right there, and just you put a lot of money as well to increase the capacity of running nodes in your home. I mean, to be honest to you.
So people they'll go to Contabo or wherever they go and they'll run them on virtual machines. I get that. You're paying money. Excuse me, but with so many projects having these and you're adding up $10 here, $15 there, $20 there for these virtual machines to run all these different nodes, I think it's exhausting itself in the system. And I think it's going to get, I think it already has, but I think it's to a point of saturation at this point. And that leads me into the second part of this conversation, which is the nodes themselves. How many platforms out there will come out and they'll say, we're releasing 10,000 nodes. And everybody out there is doing 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 50,000 nodes. And they're making it sound like you need all this processing power. And I pulled up an interesting fact while I was doing the back end of this before the show. Did you know that the entire Ethereum network,
Mm-hmm.
everything that's on there, including all the shit coins and all the platforms and all the projects and everything else, runs currently on 11,400 nodes. That means that the XYZ project platform that comes out that has a video game and a data storage base doesn't need 10,000 nodes. Not even close to that. So what is the purpose of releasing the 10,000 nodes then?
That will depends of, I guess, based on my own experiences as far as releasing this amount of companies and developers out there doing this type of huge amount of releasing nodes. In my experience, I would say it's all marketing. Is especially the people that is developing in Web3 technologies and ecosystem is just probably releasing that amount of nodes. It was a good marketing 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Uh, and I don't think actually the developer were paying attention of do you really need that amount of nodes to run an ecosystem? Uh, I don't think so, to be honest to you. And that was my question, to be honest to you. Now that we're talking about this, it was a question all the time from me. Every time I used to jump in into different conversations and Twitter space, and I used to ask when I saw people talking about node systems and all that. I used to always ask the question is, okay, you have 10, 20 million nodes there running your ecosystem, but what they really do, you know, what if you need that much power? I think the first question that people need to understand is what a node does, you know, what they really going to do into the ecosystem, and how much one node can actually support into the same ecosystem. Those are questions that people always they have to ask themselves and ask to the developer or whoever is behind any project that are trying to um, release as many nodes they want out there. That would be the question that I will ask. Uh, and it's very important to understand what a node system does. And I think pretty sure when you have the answer, uh, now you will be more uh, informed as far how many nodes you need, or you might be able to identify, well, this project needs 500 nodes or 500.
While Zorro is paused there for a moment, a full Ethereum node minimum requirement is 8 gigabytes of RAM and 1 terabyte of free disk space, which is almost equivalent, about the same as a minimum for a Bitcoin node. I run a Bitcoin node on an old Dell machine that has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, and I have a little SSD, a 2 terabyte SSD plugged into it. It has a really old processor in it, and it runs just fine. And that's helping to run Bitcoin. And the full Ethereum, with all the transaction history, that everything you go to look at with Etherscan and everything else, that's what this node network is storing. And there's only 11,400 of them here. So to me, I do think that this space is way overblown when it comes to these nodes. And I want to bring people into reality with this. I want nodes to be out there. I want nodes to be used properly. I want the ability to have something stored on a node to where if there's a system failure or AWS goes down, that half of the stuff that we rely on for our information isn't destroyed. I don't want somebody that can come in and easily delete or remove information. So I think nodes are fantastic. Does every ecosystem need their own node? I don't think so. That's what workloads are for. Workloads can be run on pretty much any node that's out there. Workloads can be run on pretty much any node that's out there. Ooh, you got some massive feedback there, Zorro. Pretty much any node that's out there. Ooh, you got some massive feedback there, Zorro. Pretty much any node that's out there. Ooh, you got some massive feedback. Did you fix the settings there? I think you did. Almost. He had a little glitch. So to get back into my point, I think I agree with Zorro. I think a lot of it has to do with raising money. I think a lot of it has to do with trying to be cutting edge, but I don't think you need to launch your own node ecosystem in order to do that. I think you just need to be able to get onto a platform that is congruent with what you're trying to do. You've heard like the deep network is on Avalanche, right? And they're going to be utilizing the node ecosystem that's already established there. You have the same with Playable. Playable is using the Avalanche node ecosystem to launch and drive what their hardware or what their software nodes are doing. You don't need your own node in order to be able to do that. What you need is the ability to take what you're trying to do and put it somewhere. Now, I understand, Faz and I have gone over this numerous times. You want that control as well, right? So if you have your own node, you can program it the way you want it. But you can also program a workload however you want it. And yes, you're relying on another node ecosystem to stay up. But if there's a good, solid node ecosystem like the ETH node network, there's nothing wrong with using that. It's going to function. It's proven that it can function just fine. You have Solana, which has its issues at times, but there's ways that you can drop workloads onto that platform to make it work. Same goes with tokens. You don't necessarily have to have your own token for everything. You can use existing tokens and still make money. You can use tokens that are part of another ecosystem and still make money. The early days of crypto mooning back in 2020, 2021, people want that today. And I think we're well past that, not only in time, but in attitude as well. I think we've all evolved and we've all grown and we've all learned and we've all done well and we've all been burned all along the way. And those projects, I think, that are understanding that you don't need all of your own stuff are going to fare far better than those who feel like they have to have their own little closed ecosystem. Taking that a step further, when you think about how you set your project up, what I'm seeing, and I mentioned this just a few weeks ago on the show here, people seem to be putting crypto and nodes and Web3 and tokens and all that kind of stuff as the forefront of what they're doing instead of what their platform is actually about. If your platform is about selling smartphones and smartphone technology, that should be the core of your business. The apps that you're developing for smartphones that could be Web3. They could be all hosted on a Web3 node network platform, right? But instead of talking about the apps and what they'll do, everybody's so focused on talking about nodes and tokens and tokenomics and these complicated, convoluted, crazy things instead of talking about the apps they should be building. So to me, I think when you look at projects and platforms moving forward, you're going to want to take that as a consideration in your due diligence. When you're looking at a platform, are they focused on their product or solving what problem or doing something and creating something and building something? Or are they all focused on tokenomics, nodes, Web3, dropping fancy marketing terms and focused on this decentralization stuff? Or are they focused on what they're inherently doing? I've taken a new approach to that, and that's helped me tremendously. I've shifted assets around in my crypto world, in my portfolio, and I put that at the forefront. What are these people talking about? What are they projecting? Are they projecting what they're doing? Or are they just throwing out buzzwords, talking about Web3 and decentralization, and that's the focus, and the tokenomics? When you go to their website, is the first thing you see about their tokenomics or a node sale? Or do you first see what their product is? I think this is where we are today, and I think this is where we're going to be moving into the future. I think we pretty much lost Zorro at this point. He had some audio difficulty. We ran a little bit late today because he was having trouble connecting, and now it looks like he lost his connection there, and I'm guessing he's probably not coming back. So we're right here at about an hour. So think about what you've participated in here tonight. We'd love to see some comments in the FazRadio chat. That'll help us shape it. Maybe we'll circle back and bring some of those comments in next week. All of us are expected to be here next week. I don't think there's anything on our schedule list that prevents us from doing that. I will say, I'll let a little teaser out. We did an interview. Faz and I did an interview this week. We recorded one with a platform that you guys will probably recognize. I'm editing it now. It's going to be in editing for probably a week. I'm trying to do better and better with each video. So mid to late next week, we're hoping to get that released. We want to keep these interviews going. We're on a roll here. If you have a connection or a contact for somebody who's actually building something, whether it's Web 2, Web 3, something decentralized, tech-related, AI-related, crypto-related, please let us know. Hook us up with a contact so we can get them on the show. We want to bring the best possible content and best variety of content that we can to FazRadio. So with that being said, thanks for joining us here on Friday. For myself, Zorro, and Faz, have a great weekend.